Hey loves, this is Lois here. In today's tutorial, we are going to learn how to cut this beautiful palazzo pants with an elastic waistband, as you can see on your screen. So it is super easy and beginner friendly. So let's get started. So to begin, we have our fabric, we have our tape, our pant curve, our chalk, our measurements, our scissors, and a long straight ruler, and our armhole curve. So I folded the fabric into two using the tie circumference because the measurement we are using is a free one. So I drew the starting line. After drawing the starting line, I placed my tape from -1.5 because of the elastic that we are going to put, the waistband that we are going to put. So I had to remove the 1.5 inches for the elastic waistband. Then I measured the crotch length. The crotch length we are using, her actual crotch length is 11 inches, but I marked 12 inches because it is a free palazzo pants. So for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to mark the knee length. So we are going to take the full length of the trouser, which is 40 plus 2 inches seam allowance, which gave us total of 42. So I marked the 42 and I also marked 40, which is the actual length and the allowance. So for us to get the knee length, we are going to measure what we have from the crotch length to the length of the trouser without the seam allowance. So from point 12 to point 40, whatever you get, divide it by 2. Then go up from what you get by 2 inches and mark. That will be your length for your knee. So after marking the knee, the next thing I did was to go to the crotch point, the crotch length. At that crotch length, I took 1 inch. That 1 inch is for seam allowance. After marking the 1 inch on that same crotch line, I impute my hip circumference, hip divide by 4. So whatever you get, impute it. In this case, we have 11.5. So 11.5 was what I marked. So 11.5 plus the seam allowance of 1 inch gave us 12.5. So we had to bring that 12.5 to the starting point of the trouser because we are using an elastic. So after imputing that 12.5, I went inwards by half an inch and then I connected that line just the way you are seeing it on your screen. So after that, the next thing is to impute the tie circumference. Remember, the tie is always divided by 2. The tie is 34 divided by 2, which gave us 17. So from the point of that allowance, after the 1 inch seam allowance, I imputed 17 inches. Next, I had to use my armhole curve to make a little arc. Just make a little arc so that you will not have a funny shape on that line. So to impute the knee circumference and the round bottom of the trouser, the next thing we are going to do is to measure the thigh extension. That thigh measurement which gave us 17, that's from the seam allowance to the thigh extension. The thigh extension we got 17. 17 divided by 2 gave us 8.5. So we are going to mark 8.5, 8.5 all the way down to the hem of the trouser. After that, I used the long straight ruler to connect that line. So to impute the knee circumference, now the knee is 28. 28 divided by 2 gave us 14. So at the center of that line, we are going to place our tape on 7. Then we'll mark the 14 at this other side and 1 at the other side. So for us to continue, we are going to use our pant curve to connect from the crotch extension down to that knee point. So after marking it down to the knee point, we are going to connect that hip line area. So we are connecting from the hip, that 1 inch seam allowance, down to the knee length. So after using our pant curve to connect, you will find out that the upper part we did not connect anything because we are just going to use our scissors to slit that side open. So the next thing is to impute the circumference for the downside of the trouser, the bottom of the trouser. So the round bottom we have is 23 divided by 2, which gave us 11 and a half. So 11 and a half divided by 2 gave us 5 3/4. So we placed our tape at 0.5 3/4 at the center and marked, after which we used our long straight ruler to connect it down to the end of the trouser. So after connecting it, it is time for us to cut it out. But before we cut it out, we are going to come down by half an inch at the crotch line. You see that line? I marked half an inch. Then at the upper part of the trouser, just watch what I am doing. I added half an inch. So that is our seam allowance to put our elastic waistband. So I connected that line. So while cutting, we are not going to cut that half an inch at that crotch line. We are not going to cut it. We'll use it as our guide while cutting for the back. So it is time for us to cut what we have on our fabric. If you've watched up to this point, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so that you will not miss out on any of our beautiful tutorials. Please give this video a thumbs up and like and share so that more people can come across this video. So while cutting the down part, I had to fold the allowance so that I will not have shortage before cutting, so that while sewing there will be no shortage at the down part. So after cutting, we are going to place what we have, the front panel, on our fabric. So before we do that, I had to fold the fabric into two again and then mark 2 inches at the top of the material. That will now serve as our starting line. So I am now going to place the front panel on that line. Just see what I am doing. I arranged it very well on that line so that we'll have allowance at the top part. You will see what we are going to use that allowance for. So after arranging the fabric very well on the back panel, we are now going to take our crotch extension for the back. So for us to do that, I first of all drew a straight line and came down by half an inch so that I will have a slant at that area. So that side now, that extension will slant by half an inch. So after drawing that, the next thing I did was to divide my hip circumference by 2. Remember, the hip we use is 11.5. So 11.5 divided by 2 gave us 5/3. So I marked that 5/3, which is the midpoint. And on that 5/3, I took the hip measurement again of 11.5. So whatever you get becomes your crotch extension for the back. Next, I went to the knee area and I took 2 inches, and the round bottom side I took 2 inches. Then I used my pant curve to connect from the thigh extension for the back to the knee, and then use the straight ruler to connect to the bottom or the hem of the trouser. After that, I went upwards at that crotch line and I started taking 1.5. So as I was going down, I started to take 1 inch. So at that curvy area, I took about 3/4. So I used my straight ruler to connect it all the way down and use the curved part to sink it into that extension area. So after doing that, it is time for us to take the allowance for the up. Remember, the trouser that we normally wear, the front and the back part at the upper part is not always the same. So I had to take the butt rise of 1.5. After taking 1.5, I had to connect it to the side of the trouser. Just watch what I am doing. So after connecting this, it is time for us to cut what we have. Please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and turn on the notification bell so that you will not miss out. So now, after cutting the back panel, I had to separate the front panel from that of the back to enable me remove that half an inch that we marked earlier. So that is what I just cut out. So we are done cutting the front and the back panel, so it is time for us to sew. So for us to sew this trouser, we are going to talk about the back panel first. So we are going to sew that crotch line all the way down with half an inch. So I'm going to place my tape and mark half inch all the way down. Just see what I am doing, half an inch, that is what I am marking. So I'll mark that half an inch. That line that I marked with my chalk, that is the part we are going to sew with our sewing machine. Then this is the front panel. We are going to do the same by marking half an inch, all the way down to the crotch extension. So we are going to use our sewing machine to sew that area. After sewing it, we are going to open it and iron it very well. I'll bring it and show you. We are done sewing both the front and the back panel of the trouser. So the next thing we are going to do is for us to turn the fabric and then place right side facing each other, and then we are going to couple the two sides all the way down. But for the purpose of this video, I want to teach us how to couple this trouser with an inseam finishing in case you don't have a serging machine or a weaving machine. So I am going to couple it from the front side first. I will turn it. I will turn the fabric. After turning it, the front side, that is the back side, will face each other, meaning we are sewing from the front first. See how I will place it on the table. The right side will be on the table, will face the table, and the back side will face each other. Just see how it is. Then I am going to sew it all the way down. I will use 1/4 to sew it. So I'm going to sew it all the way down. That is sewing from the front first. After sewing it, I will do the same to the other side, and then I will now turn the fabric to the wrong side. Just see how it is. I pinned it to demonstrate. Then I am now going to use 1/2 inch to sew it all the way down. This pattern now will enable you not to look for a serging machine to weave that area. So that is how I am going to sew it. After sewing it, I will sew the inside. I will bring it and show you. So this is how it is looking. I've done it. I've sewed both the two sides and the inner side of it. So this is how it is looking. The next thing is for us to put our elastic. So to do the elastic casing, I have to take the circumference of the waist. So after measuring all round, I got 50 inches. So the 50 inches we have is what we are going to use for the casing. So this is the material that I have cut out. It is on fold because I ironed it very well. So it is on fold 3 inches. So I had to fold half inch on both sides and then fold it into 2 equal parts and iron it, so that I am going to use it to case the waist. So after that, I had to join the two edges to make it round. Then the waist of the cleans is 38 inches that we are working with. So that 38, I'm using elastic of 30 inches. So that 30 inches I have cut out on my hand is what I am going to fold into two. See how I am demonstrating it. I will overlap it by 1 inch, and then I am going to sew it in a square manner. But for the purpose of this video now, I'm going to use a pin to pin it. That area that I pinned, that made it round, I'm going to use my sewing machine to sew it. Then after that, I'll put that elastic inside of the waistband. So the next thing is to carry the upper part of the trouser, which is the waist itself. We are going to insert it inside of the waistband where the elastic is. Now I am going to use my pin to secure it. So we have the elastic inside of the waistband and the edge of the waist itself, the waist of the trouser. So we are going to put it, I'm going to pin it. The way I am pinning it, that is how I am going to use my sewing machine to sew it all the way round. The essence of doing this is to have a clean finishing at that upper part. You will not see any rough edge around that area. So we will do it and bring it and show you. So after sewing the waistband, the next thing is for us to hem the downside of the trouser. So we are going to fold 1/2 inch and then 1.5 inches. So we are done fixing the elastic. As you can see how beautiful and neat it is looking. So after that, I had to use my sewing machine to sew at the center of the elastic. So after that, I folded the downside of the trouser. We are done with this project. So it is time for us to put it on our mannequin, or our model will wear it for us to see the outcome. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so that you will not miss out on any of our beautiful tutorials. Until I see you in my next video, remain blessed. Bye.